stations, all stations, all stations. This is Living Life, Living Life, Living Life. I'm here to tell you about the Great Loop. Over. Captains, admirals, scallywags, and scurvy dogs. That was me on our VHF radio aboard our sailboat called Living Life. My speech is about America's Great Loop. I'm here to tell you what the Great Loop is, the types of people doing the loop, and why the loop is so great. America's Great Loop is a system of waterways, both natural and man-made, that go through eastern United States and Canada. It's about 9,500 kilometers long, depending on what side trips you take. We started the loop in Peterborough, Ontario on July 28, 2016. There's a certain timing to do different legs of the loop. Some people call it chasing 80, which means you're trying to stay in weather that's about 80 degrees Fahrenheit, which is about 27 degrees Celsius, of course. To do this, you summer across Canada, which means going up the Trent 7 waterway to Georgian Bay, up to the North Channel, and then all the way down Lake Michigan to Chicago, Illinois. You then fall down the river system during autumn. We went down the Illinois, Mississippi, Ohio, Cumberland, Tennessee rivers, and then into the Tombigbee Waterway all the way to Mobile, Alabama. You then winter across the Gulf of Mexico and Florida, which is where we are now. In spring, we will spring up the Atlantic Intercoastal Waterway back to Canada. There are loads of people doing the loop. People doing the loop fly the looper burgee, which is a flag, so it's easy to recognize other loopers. You fly a white burgee when you're doing the loop for the first time. You fly a gold burgee once you finish the loop, and you fly a platinum burgee once you finish the loop at least twice. The majority of people doing the loop seem to be retired couples, and they tend to be on fairly large boats. Well, compared to ours. We've seen some really nice trawlers, tugs, and yachts, but there are definitely lots of sailors out there, and we've seen some really nice sailboats. There aren't many families doing the loop. However, we do know of at least 2 other families on the loop right now. We have just met one. They are awesome, and we're hoping to meet the other soon. There are some unusual loopers out there. We've heard of people doing the loop on a pontoon boat, a jet ski, and one guy's even going to try to do it on a stand-up paddleboard. We're not as unusual as that, but we are pretty unusual because we're doing it with 4 people on a 27-foot sailboat. That's a very small boat, and our boat's a little unusual too. My dad found our boat years ago laying on its side with a big hole in it. It was pretty much being used as a dumpster. A dumpster, I say. My dad salvaged it and fixed it all up, and here we are doing the loop. The loop is really awesome. We've seen so many great things and met so many wonderful people. We've already been through 10 states, and the things we've seen and done are too numerous to list, but I'll tell you some of them. The North Channel was beautiful and is one of the top 10 cruising destinations in the world. Bayfine and Lake Topaz were especially magnificent, and we loved the waterfall in Capewalk. We've seen amazing cities like Mackinac Island, Michigan, Chicago, Illinois, Nashville, Tennessee, and New Orleans, Louisiana, which people down here actually call Nolans. Not to mention all the cool smaller places like Cockburn Island, all the beach towns along Lake Michigan, and the great little towns along the river system and here in Florida. We've seen amazing wildlife such as bald eagles, pelicans, different types of herons, wild boars, alligators, dolphins, iguanas, and we even swam with manatee in Crystal River. We've also gone to some pretty cool attractions like Disney and Universal Studios in Orlando, Florida, a science and industry museum, and climbing the Sears Tower in Chicago. In the estuarium and the USS Alabama battleship in Mobile, Alabama. I could go on and on. But even more special than all the places we've seen are the people we've met. We've made such good friends that many feel like family. People have just been so friendly, kind, and generous towards us. It's difficult to even describe. I hope you enjoyed my speech about America's Great Loop. I hope you learned what the Great Loop is, the types of people doing the loop, and why the loop is so great. So what are you waiting for? You should go do the loop. This is living life.